All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that everyone is doing well on today. This may be evening or morning by the time you hear this, but I wanted to come on and share this with you guys. I meant to do it earlier today, but I have been very, very busy with a number of things. In fact, I've spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks digitizing a lot of files. Guys, I would advise you if you're here in Ghana, wherever you are, with things changing so swiftly in the world, get things transferred. Any hard documents that you have, go ahead and put it on digital files because you never know what's going to happen. Floods, fires, hurricanes, just moving. It just makes us more mobile. Okay. And that's my agenda, to be mobile. And I always encourage you guys, don't put every hope that you have into any country that you're in. Okay. Remember, especially if you know that you're an Israelite, even if you don't know, we are pilgrims, strangers, sojourners on the earth. We need to be ready to move whenever we need to, okay? And so speaking of moving and traveling, I am here to talk to y'all about some mess going on at the U.S., the Ghana Embassy in the U.S., okay? All right. So, like I said, I wanted to bring this to you earlier, but I had to get some other stuff done. So, as you can see by the title, Ghana temporarily shuts down the embassy in the U.S. over alleged visa scandal. Now, I can tell you guys, I have witnessed this over the last couple of years, but it hasn't been something recently. It was years ago, right? And I don't even remember if it was at this particular location that they're speaking of. But let's see why they shut it down. So if you have your passport there waiting for your visa, you need to listen to this, okay? So Ghana temporarily shuts down the embassy in the U.S. over alleged visa scandal. Ghana's foreign affairs minister has announced that the country has temporarily closed its embassy in the U.S. capital amid an investigation into an alleged visa scam. So that would be the Washington location, right? Which, honestly, out of the two that remained, Washington was the most functional. Let's just tell the truth, okay? All right. So anyway, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, I hope I'm saying that correct, forgive me if I'm not, said the embassy will be shut following the damning findings of an audit team he put together to investigate alleged corruption at the Washington diplomatic mission. The statement added that the closure would last a few days until a restructuring and systems overhaul is finalized. According to Ablakwa, a locally recruited staff member and collaborators were allegedly involved in a fraudulent scheme whereby they extracted money from visa and passport applicants. Now, I saw this on another report earlier, and it named the person who is a Ghanaian, I guess, by name. And it says here, locally recruited staff members. So perhaps it's a Ghanaian that was already living in the U.S. I'm not sure if that's what it, if that's so, but he says locally here. But, and not that it matters because they do have people who are, natives of America, maybe Ghanaians born in America, or a few Americans working there as well. But for the most part, they are Ghanaians from Ghana who they have shipped to America or who have flown to America to work at these embassies, all right? And so they assist not only those of us who are foreigners, but they assist Ghanaians who need passports and have passport issues, right? Dual citizen issues and so on and so forth. But it said, according to Ablakwa, locally recruited staff member and collaborators were allegedly involved in a fraudulent scheme whereby they extracted money from visa and passport applicants. And I'm going to tell you how it was done here based on what they're saying, and then I'll tell you my experience as well. It is alleged that the scheme consisted of creating an unauthorized link on the embassy's website to redirect visa and passport applicants to a private firm where they were charged extra for multiple services without the knowledge of the foreign ministry. Ablakwa added that the staff member kept the entire proceeds. Can you believe that? Let me say that again. He didn't even share it, or she didn't even share, whoever they were, all right, didn't even share the money. They kept the entire proceeds in their private account, and that the scheme had been going on for 5 years, which brings me back to my experience, which I believe was longer than 5 years ago. And I'm not even sure if it was at the Washington site, but I have gone to the website before and have been given a link in times past to go to another site, and it seemed really shady to me. It seemed like unprofessional, right? But I have experienced this myself, and I've seen it myself. It comes up in the chat box, right? You could be talking to someone and they'll pass you that link in the chat box. That was my experience, all right? So I'm not saying that this particular person was the one who did it, so no one should come and ask me about my experience with this person. I can't say that it was that particular person, but I can say that I have had this experience, and I'm not even sure if it was this particular site. So they may need to do a, audit of all. In fact, they need to audit why they don't answer the phone. Let's start with that at both sites. The Texas location ran by, excuse me, a foreign uh, American white woman whom she used to run the one in Texas. She was very efficient and she used to answer the phone and get stuff done. I'm just saying, okay? All right. But they shut that mission down, and I have gotten the documents and stuff that I sent to the other locations, but it problems. You can't get the phone answered. I have had someone to pick up the phone, answer the phone. Someone called them on a private phone, and their response to the person was, "Charles, I have waited for you the whole of the day yesterday." And then they told the person must have told them that they were divorced. And they said, "What? You are divorced?" And they hung up the phone on me and went to talk to this man who was supposed to be married, but they just found out that they were divorced. I'm telling you my true experience. This ain't gossip. This is what the person said, and hung up the phone on me and went to talk to Charles, who is now newly divorced. Back to this story. All right, so Ablakwa added that the staff members kept the entire proceeds in their private account and that the scheme had been going on for 5 years. Applicants seeking visas were charged unapproved fees ranging from almost $30 to $60 by the private firm. This conduct has been reported to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and retrieval of funds obtained through fraudulent schemes, Ablakwa added. I wonder if they're going to report it to the U.S. Attorney General as well. That would be a crime in the U.S. as well. So if they're reporting it to the Ghana Attorney General, they need to report it to the U.S. Attorney General, because it would be U.S. citizens who are being defrauded, or dual citizens of the U.S. who are being defrauded, or perhaps Ghanaians who are in the country at the time who were being defrauded. That's a crime in the U.S. as well. All right, so as a result, foreign ministry staff in Washington have been recalled home, and all locally recruited staff at the embassy have been suspended, Ablakwa said. President John Mahama government will continue to demonstrate zero tolerance for corruption, naked conflict of interest, and blatant abuse of office. Salute, salute, salute to the head of, I believe he's Foreign Affairs Minister. All right, so great job. We appreciate it. We want people to, work with who are people of integrity, who are going to handle their job responsibilities with integrity and not divert our funds to their private account and not extort unnecessary funds for us. And that's not only in the U.S., that's here in Ghana as well. All right, do a total overhaul, all right, and not just of the consulate office, immigration, anybody that has to deal with anyone, passport offices here, everywhere. Okay? Yes, everywhere. Because we are held to a high standard when we come to Ghana. We must obey the laws of Ghana. All right? We must keep our visas active and in good standing. And if we don't, we have to pay the fees to the country of Ghana. If we pay those fees, we want those fees to go to the country of Ghana, not into someone's personal bank account. Okay? Hopefully we will keep our stuff up, because as I've shared with you all before, those fees have increased and you will pay them or you will not be able to leave the country. And that's something we need to keep up with. And also, guys, I will be talking to you about the new proposed fees that's going to make it virtually impossible, if they pass this law, for most of us to be in Ghana. Most of us to be in Ghana. But I'll talk about it at another time. But just wanted to share this with you, let you know what's going on. So if you have your passport in Washington, I don't know what's going to happen. He says that they'll be open in a couple of days. So hopefully they'll go ahead and get things processed. But if you planned on sending it to Washington, be aware that this is what's going on. All right. Shalom. Yah bless you all.